So first of all, I'll start. Todd, why don't you give everybody a 411 on who you are, why you're running for governor, and what some of your main platform positions are.
Okay. Well, first off, I've been in the transportation industry for 35 plus years. So I have a good clue on what's going on in our roads here in Michigan. I'm a father to 7. I have 6 grandchildren. And what I've had friends and family members trying to get me into politics for almost 25 years. And I kept telling them, no, I don't want to be part of those idiots. So, but when Flint, Michigan happened here with the water crisis, Flint is my hometown. I grew up in Flint. And my brother called me one day after it happened, and he asked me if I was angry enough yet, and that was the final straw for me. So I done my research and found the office that I need to run for that would do the most good for the people of Michigan.
Well, then what made you pick governor? And also on that, what made you decide to run as an independent?
Well, I've always been an independent. I have voted Democratic and I have voted Republican. To me, that's the way it should be. I mean, currently look at what our two parties are doing. I mean, they really can't get anything done for the people, and I mean this as national as well as statewide, because they can't stop bickering and finger pointing. They won't help us if they can't claim a victory over the other party. So, but again, I've always been an independent. I've never been a registered Democrat or a registered Republican.
And, well, when you say they can't get stuff done, I mean, do you see that as a reflection of they don't get stuff done because they're bickering with each other, or they don't get stuff done because public opinion really means nothing to them? The way I see it, for instance, we don't have two parties. We have one party. It's the money party, because we have two political parties that have the same owners. And especially now, although it's always been this way, but public opinion be damned. I mean, they wanted to try to push through a healthcare plan that was even worse than the ACA, which the ACA was a baby step in a better direction, but still nowhere near what we need. And it had about a 13% approval rating. They tried to push it through anyway. Same with the tax bill. They tried to push it through anyway. They gutted net neutrality, even though 83% of the public wanted net neutrality. And I'm pretty sure the other 17% either doesn't know what net neutrality is or is misinformed on it. So I think that's more of a reflection on why we can't get stuff done. So do you see the two-party system as being completely broken? And if so, how do we fix that?
Well, again, it is completely broken. There's no issue about it. They've lost touch with the people. And, you know, I want to change that, even if it's only a baby step, as you call it here in Michigan. But anytime an independent wins gubernatorials in any state, the other states pay attention. And what I have planned for Michigan with real accountability, equality, and integrity, I have a funny feeling the other 49 states are really going to stand up and take notice of what I'm doing here. And to give you an idea on that, I mean, I'll tell you part of what my platform is all about. I mean, we actually plan on restructuring the entire tax system here in Michigan. I mean, that will effectively eliminate our property tax on your primary residence. It'll lower health insurance by 50% in the state. And a big thing here in Michigan is auto insurance. I mean, right now we currently are 136% higher than the national average. And with my platform being in place, that will lower the auto insurance between 47 and 70%. Those are the big points that I'm having here in Michigan that I'm gaining traction on, which is something that'll benefit 80% of the people here in Michigan. So, I mean, and to answer your question with the ACA, the only thing that I found that really benefited the people, seeing how it was made mandatory, was the fact that they got rid of the pre-existing conditions. That was the only issue that I seen that it helped, because a lot of people don't realize the ACA or Obamacare or whatever you want to call it was when they go onto these websites in order to get the insurance, all they see is the price that they would pay, which was generally between 25 and 40% of what the cost of that policy actually was. which is how our system currently works when you have insurance through your employer. So what I brought to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, which is currently our largest health insurance programs here in Michigan, and I think they're pretty high in all the states. But the fact is, I went to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and I said, look, when I become governor, you're going to have to lower your premiums and your deductibles by 50%. And they laughed at me. And I told them, I said, look, I'm not asking you to go into the black or red, whichever you want to look at it, into the negatives. I'm asking you to lower your premiums to make them more affordable for the people of Michigan. And he says, we couldn't do that. I said, you made $80 billion profit last year. I said, you can't survive on $40 billion profit. And I told him right then and there, I said, fine, this is what my plan is for Michigan. I will force you to compete with the state in order to lower your health insurance. And he says,
so what is your plan for healthcare then? Are you a single payer guy then?
Yes. Yes. I will open up the state Medicaid to the people of Michigan at that 50% range. In other words, a family of 4 for health insurance in Michigan will be, instead of $1,200 and $1,400 that they're currently paying, it'll be between $600 and $700 a month with a deductible of $1,500. Now, that forces the health insurance industry in Michigan to compete, because I will make sure that health insurance and mental health insurance is combined into this program. That is at the $40 billion mark currently that Blue Cross Blue Shield is making. So
do you favor Bernie Sanders' plan then? Do you favor Medicare for All?
Well, Medicare for All is federal. Okay. I believe in small government, and I do believe in the state sovereignties. I like some of Bernie's plans, and he has some great ideas. I'm not against Bernie Sanders by any means. But like with the 2016 presidential race, is what we're currently seeing here in Michigan, is everybody's pointing out what the problems are. They are not looking at the solutions and giving the solutions to it. And that's what I'm doing when I'm out here traveling around Michigan. And I'm bringing solutions to these problems. And right now, the Democrats and the Republicans, I think they see me nipping at their heels.
Well, you know, when you say like you believe in small government, a lot of times that's kind of code for I want to deregulate everything and I want to kind of play along with the United Corporations of America. But on your website, it seems like you are not that guy. So how do you kind of like set your messaging apart?
Well, like I said, I come out here with the solutions to it. And I'm also listening to the people on what they need and want. And I'm straightforward. You know, I'll be the first to tell you that there's no feasible way that we can do something. You know, like I've had, well, auto insurance is a given. That's going to be a simple fix here in Michigan. But health insurance is going to be a big issue here. And I'm straightforward. I've talked to many people on my campaign, and I came across this woman in Port Huron, and she overheard me talking to people, and healthcare was one of these issues. And my campaign manager John was with me, and she come up to me and she says, I want to know exactly how you're going to cut health insurance by 50% here in Michigan. She says, because I handle the health insurance for a major corporation here in Michigan. And it took me 20 minutes, and she turned around and said, you know what, I'm going to vote for you because I like that plan. Now, she knows the ins and outs of the health insurance industry. And after those 20 minutes of me talking to her, she understood where I was coming from. It's just a matter of forcing industries to follow. You know, we can't, right now, currently, the health insurance industry is running rampant because nobody is stepping in to put the brakes on them or force them to follow us criteria that helps the people of Michigan. I mean,
their model's set up that way, though. I mean, they're also set up. I mean, they're for-profit entities. They're an unnecessary middleman. So, I mean, I don't see. I mean, I understand what you're saying, like open it up at the state level to make them compete. But eventually, they're going to go the way of the buffalo. I mean, which should happen. I mean, I'm all for that happening. I'm for single payer 110%. I don't think there is any room for the for-profit insurance industry at the table.
Well,
Do you agree?
this is a precursor to that. This is what I'm doing because I don't know what the federal government's going to do. You know, and a lot of people will ask me all these questions about what our current president Trump is doing, and I say, look, I'm not worried about what the federal government's doing right now. What I care about is what is going on here in Michigan. But at the same time, I'm setting Michigan up to go the way that they choose to go with the federal government. Now, all I can assume is what they're going to do. I can't predict what they're going to do. So I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve. So that's where my health insurance program is coming in. Like I said, it's setting it up, it is actually making healthcare affordable here in the state of Michigan. Now, this isn't just to the individual. I mean, this is also for the corporations that are currently paying a portion of employees' health care. So this will fit right in with them as well. If this isn't just being offered to the people of Michigan, this is being offered to their corporations that help pay their health insurance. Now, I've had doctors tell me that, well, what makes you think we're going to go for your policies? And I've explicitly said to them, look, the hospitals that you work for, the clinics that you work for, at some point, they accept taxpayer dollars. So if they accept taxpayer dollars, then they have to take the insurance if it's offered to them. So this is where, I mean, it's kind of being forceful, but at the same time, it's leaning it towards the people of Michigan.
So do you think eventually we will have a federal single payer system then?
I think we will eventually, but I don't foresee it within the next 8 to 12 years.
We'll see. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, where it's got to start at the state level, though. Like that's kind of the only way. You know, and I'm definitely with you there. My thing is that, you know, I don't understand how you had a conversation with that woman who's in the health insurance industry, and she was like, "I'm all about your plan," because it sounds like you're saying, "In my plan, you ain't going to exist anymore," which is what I want to see happen. Right. But I'm not sure how she went along with that. You must be a very charming fellow.
Well, I'm one of these people that don't like to be photographed, so I don't know how you could say I'm charming. I never used to speak in front of people. I would actually be that kid that would take the lower grade in class just so I wouldn't have to get up and speak. So I guess maybe after the last 35 years, I've changed that attitude, and I really don't care about being interviewed or anything. It doesn't bother me is what I should say. I'm out here on a mission for the people of Michigan.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.